if that helps you.
Is there a way to, I wonder if we can move that to the right a little?
Like that way?
Yeah, I can't see that. Hey, Brendan, we're going to move the light over just a little bit. Is that okay? So I can see the rabbis. Just a little bit more. A little bit. Just a tad. That's good. Needs to go that way? Okay, it's got to go back that way. I just can't see the rabbis. Okay. Okay.
Shana Tova, and welcome to Temple Beth Am's Slichot services. Hashivenu, we return.
We return.
We return.
We return.
We return.
We return. Return again. We return.
We return.
We return.
We return.
We return. Return again and again to love, love, love. We return again to love. We return.
We return.
We return.
We return.
We return. Return again. We return.
We return.
We return.
We return.
We return. Return again and again to we return again to truth. Hashivenu Adonai elecha v'nashuva Chadesh yameinu kedem. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. We return. We return. We return. We return. We return. Return again. We return. We return. We return. We return. We return. Return again and again to you. You.
Erev Tov, Shana Tova. Welcome, friends, for our Slichot evening services. Those of you joining in person, those of you joining at home online, thank you for being here, for helping us create this solemn, special, peaceful moment that officially begins our high holiday season. I'm Rabbi Jason Levine. I'm joined by my colleagues, Rabbi Dana Benson, Rabbi Ruth Zlotnick, our amazing musicians, Tarn Weber and Noah Zeigner. And thank you all. For those of you who are joining online, there is a link on our website to a flip book, which can be used for the same book, the same service, so we can all be here together. Because Slichot is this time. The high holidays are more than just Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. They're a whole season. They're a whole journey. They're an emotional adventure. We begin with Slichot. We'll hear for the first time some of the music reminiscent of the high holidays. We'll experience some of the prayers and confessions unique to the high holidays. We'll hear the shofar for the very first time during these high holidays. It's a calm service, a gentle service, meant to help us be present. We actually don't start the high holidays with a bang, with a shout. We start rather simply, with some quiet music, some quiet reflection and contemplation. And instead of the external world giving us a big ruckus to begin, we start quiet, so the internal work of the heart, the work of the soul, can truly begin. Slichot begins tonight. The holidays begin tonight. And we begin our Slichot service with Havdalah, officially ending Shabbat.
Havdalah reminds us to take in the sensory experience that is everyday life, specifically Shabbat, of course. But it reminds us not to take for granted the mundane, just as we don't take for granted the sacred. So as we light our candle, let us remember the light that's been brought into our lives over the past year. As we smell the spices, may we think of all the bread we baked, all the sourdough we learned how to make, and all the meals we were able to have with family and friends, whether it was over Zoom or in person. And as we taste the sweetness of the grape juice or wine, may we know that our lives will continue to be sacred as we go into 5782. Tonight we separate from sacred to mundane, only to be prepared to transition to sacredness again.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Shavua Tov, 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 Shavua Tov.
Before we begin our Slichot blessings and prayers, before we enter that season that Rabbi Jason set before us, I thought it might be helpful for us to take a few moments of kavanah, of intentionality. And I thought we might take a moment for self-care, actually. And I have to say, even though I have spoken about believing that we need to take care of ourselves, I took 6 weeks off this summer, and I think if I'm totally honest with myself, I felt like the term self-care felt a little self-indulgent. On this side of those 6 weeks, I realize how necessary it really is for us to take care of ourselves, that the dictum of Hillel is true. If I'm not for myself, who will be for me? And of course, if I'm only for myself, what am I? And if not now, when? I always felt like that phrase, if not now, when, was intended to help us take better care of each other. But I realize for some of us, the if not now, when is about taking care of ourselves. If we're not taking care of ourselves, if not now, when will we? The Yamim Noraim, the days of awe, remind us that every day embodied in this body, ensouled in this soul, is a gift. And if you believe, as I do, that the days of awe are about returning to our highest self, returning home to our highest selves and to God, then it is so important that we be willing to hold ourselves in compassion. Because the work of Teshuvah is hard. If it weren't hard, we wouldn't have a whole season to do it. It's hard to look at where we've come short. It's hard to look at where we're not as loving as we might be to others. It's hard to be that honest with ourselves. Therefore, on this Slichot, after this year of COVID, where so many of us perhaps did not take as good care of ourselves as we should, we are going to take a moment before we enter the gates of Slichot in a meditation of compassion for our mistakes and our failures, so we can come home to ourselves during this season of awe. And this Teshuvah, this chesed meditation, this meditation of compassion and return, is a variance on a classic loving kindness practice, tailored specifically to help us with the hard work of Teshuvah. So whether you are at home online, in our congregation, or sitting on our bima or in our choir loft, I invite you to sit comfortably. Sit where you are, comfortable enough to sit upright, but relaxed. And settle into your posture. Notice how your body feels, the sensation of your feet touching the floor, your back perhaps against the chair, the weight of your arms and your head. Be in your body right here and right now, fully inhabiting this experience. Then allow your attention to move outwards towards sounds. What sounds are arising right now? For those here in the sanctuary, is it the hum of the AC? For those at home, are there noises outside your window? What are the sounds you hear? Try not to reach the sounds, but let the sounds arrive. Waves entering your mind and your body. Now focus on your breathing, the sense of inhaling and exhaling, Whether you feel the breath most strongly at your nose or perhaps your chest, take a few moments just to rest simple and easy with your breath. Notice the peacefulness of being quiet, of resting, as you gently breathe. And now I'd like you to bring to mind some aspect of your personality that challenges you, or perhaps a mistake that you've made, something you perceive as a failure, something that bothers you, something that perhaps you've been criticizing yourself for, or you've been ignoring, or that has made you feel inadequate. Whatever this trait or action is, try to get in touch with your feelings about it. What does it make you feel? See if you can locate those sensations of emotions in your body, whether it's sadness or fear or loneliness. Perhaps you feel it in your body in a tightness in your throat, a heaviness in your heart, a tension in your shoulders. What emotions do you feel when you think about this mistake? And just actually allow them to be there instead of feeling the resistance to them, which is natural when we judge ourselves. Get in touch with how much suffering is caused from our fears of not being good enough, our fears of not being strong enough to repair what is broken. Some of our greatest suffering is at our own hands, by the belief that somehow we should be perfect. I invite you to take your hand or hands and place them gently over your heart in a calm and soft and comforting manner. See if you can sense your heart right now. See if you can let your heart be moved by how difficult your emotional experience is when you think about this thing that makes you feel bad for yourself. And so what we'll do now is repeat some phrases, chesed phrases, loving kindness phrases, designed to help you feel compassion for the fact that you are an imperfect being. You try your best, but no one on this planet is perfect. We're all inadequate in some way. We all make mistakes. We all fail. This is the human experience. And because it is the human experience, it is okay. So I'll say a few sets of phrases aloud, and I invite you at your own pace to say them silently. May I be safe. May I be peaceful. May I be kind to myself. May I accept myself as I am. Feel the warmth of your hand on your heart. May I be safe. May I be peaceful. May I be kind to myself. May I accept myself as I am. As your mind wanders, which it will inevitably do, just refresh the phrases in your mind. May I be safe. May I be peaceful. May I be kind to myself. May I accept myself as I am. Give yourself the same kindness and support and acceptance you would give a good friend who has been feeling bad about themselves. May I be safe. May I be peaceful. May I be kind to myself. May I accept myself as I am. We remember that everyone is in the same boat. Everyone feels inadequate in some way. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone fails. This is the human condition. This is something we all share. May I be safe. May I be peaceful. May I be kind to myself. May I accept myself as I am. And remembering all your fellow humans who struggle with self-judgment the way you do, let's change the phrases slightly so that we include everyone in our kavanah, in our intention for self-compassion. May we all feel safe. May we all be peaceful. May we be kind to ourselves. May we accept ourselves as we are. May we be safe. May we be peaceful. May we be kind to ourselves. May we accept ourselves as we are. Gently repeat the phrases silently until you are ready to arise from this moment, ready to do the work of teshuvah with self-compassion, ready to come home to ourselves and to God. Hashivenu Adonai v'nashuvah. Return us and we'll return. May we be safe. May we be peaceful. May we be kind to ourselves. May we accept ourselves as we are.
You were only waiting
your prayer book or your flip book, page 114. Master of wonders, mother of souls, forgive the darkness in our hearts, our loss of hope. We use these words from Hashivenu to return, to prepare ourselves to enter the period of Slichot. Pardon our distraction, our ears closed to the pleas of this poor, and lead us to atonement. Master of wonders, mother of souls, forgive us our circles of secrecy, knots of guilt, shame, and anger, webs of betrayal and greed. Pardon the pursuit of happiness that ends in worship of self, and lead us to atonement. Master of wonders, mother of souls, refuse to forgive our refusal to forgive. Release our grudges, hatreds, and feuds, puncture our self-righteousness, and lead us to atonement. Master of wonders, mother of souls, forgive our vanity in the universe of awe, our complacency in the universe of need. Pardon our failure to think, praise, and salute every soul and every star, and lead us to atonement. Master of wonders, mother of souls, forgive us our disregard and insolence, our distance from loved ones and friends. Pardon our daily inattentiveness, our failure to notice that we fail to notice, and lead us to atonement. Continue on page 117, expressing our relationship to the divine. Ki anu amecha.
Ki anu amecha ve'ata Eloheinu anu vanecha ve'ata avinu anu avanecha ve'ata aroneinu anu ke'alecha ve'ata chelkeinu anu nachaleta ve'ata geroleinu anu tzunecha ve'ata roeinu anu chormecha ve'ata nodreinu anu felulatecha ve'ata yotzreinu anu rayatecha ve'ata dodeinu ata segulatecha ve'ata keroveinu anu amecha ve'ata mogeinu anu mamirecha ve'ata mamireinu.
Continue on page 119 with a meditation of attentiveness. Notice the river at break of dawn, a braid of streams, creeks and brooks, a dance of insects near the shore. Notice how brackish where the river meets the sea, how with grace the river hugs the shore, fierce in its rising, fiercer when it falls. Notice it all, how it bends, how it tells the time of year, and how smooth the boulders are that guide its course. Notice the Holy One in blessing and in beauty, in acts of repair, in the unearthing of truth, in eyes that meet, in the tumult of change, in words of forgiveness, in the bridges we build to those we hurt, in the flow of a year, in the course of a journey, in rising and falling, in the bend of a river, in the hand we hold out to those who hurt us, in the life we are living, in blessing and in beauty. We now are ready to turn before the open ark. When we do so at this season of the year, we are reminded of Aaron entering the Holy of Holies. This is our time of transformation, our time of encounter with the divine. And so I invite you, if you're able to please rise or rise in spirit as we continue on page 120.
Adonai el rachum vechanu erech apayim v'rav chesed ve'emet notzer chesed le'alafim nose avon v'pesha v'chata
We rise now to honor them, elders from whom we have learned stories and lessons, with whom we have studied and worshiped and celebrated the passages of life and time. Our elders who have taught us goodness, honesty, and the sanctity of life, whose mantles are woven with threads of memory, embroidered with silver and gold, majestic folds of silk and velvet in royal hues befitting their rank, as brilliant as the sun. We rise now to honor them, as they put aside these everyday mantles of splendor and don their sacred garments, the vestments of purity and holiness, befitting the days of awe so soon approaching. Each in its turn is fitted with a wimple, mantle, and crowns, each more stunning than the last. The majestic folds of velvet and silk that clothe the holy words, a canvas of purest white, as brilliant as the moon. The holy season has now begun, and the elders in their yontif clothes stand proud and tall before us, beacons of wisdom and light, reminders of the holiness we seek on this new day in Elul.
And so we'll do this act of holy transformation where we move the Torah mantles from our everyday mantles to our high holy day ones. I'm going to invite Rabbi Dana to stand over here and Rabbi Jason by the mantles. Usually we invite the congregation to come up on the bima. We invite others to do this, but this year in honor of COVID safety, we'll do it. And we thank in advance Noah and Tarn for the beautiful music that allows us, as we transform the scrolls of our elders, we think about the transformation with the scroll within as well. Eitz Chaim, page 123.
It's Chaim hi, v'machazikim bo, v'tomechecha b'ushar deracheha, darchei noam, v'chol ativotecha shalom. Hashivenu Adonai elecha nashuva Chadesh Chadesh Yameinu Chadesh Yameinu Kekedem.
Please be seated. I think it's you. Oh, no, it's Dana.
Page 124. Where will I find you? Soul of eternity, my strength, my song. Where will I find you? Your place is a mystery far away. But where will I not find you? Your glory fills the world. I sought your nearness. I called you with all my heart. And when I went out to find you, I found you coming towards me. Breathless, I witnessed your power, and in holiness I gazed.
Page 127, for the first time this high holiday season, Vidui, our confessional prayer. As the days of awe near, we reach for the infinite. Mindful of our frailty, we seek the holy. Despite our mortality, we carry within us the Ancient of Days. Despite loneliness within, we sense that we belong to a single soul, a spirit that fills the entire universe. Let us find that in that universal spirit a new source of strength and significance, more compassion, more generosity, more gratitude for life. Let our hearts be open to self-reckoning. May we grasp how vital to our lives is tshuva, the path of return. On this night of forgiveness, we confess our wrongs and take account of sins, failures of judgment, weakness of will. The hour is late. Our need to be forgiven, profound. Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, tavo lefanecha tefilatenu, v'al titzalem mitchinanatenu. Our God and God of all generations, may our prayers reach your presence. And when we turn to you, do not be indifferent. We, Adonai, we are arrogant and stubborn, claiming to be blameless and free of sin. In truth, we have stumbled and strayed. We have done wrong. Together we confess. Together we take responsibility. Page 128, we rise if we are able to recite Ashamnu, our short vidui, for the first time. Ashamnu, Baganu, Gazalnu, Dibarnu Dofi, Tichatnu, Tayavnu, Ta'inu, Titanu,
We continue now with the longer Vidui. Vidui means confessional, also known as the Al-Chet. And I'll invite you to say along with me these words. We'll say the opening phrase in Hebrew, Al-Chet Shachatanu Lefanecha. And then we'll read together on pages 130 and continuing, I think on page 130. And so we at 130 and 131. So please join me. For all these sins, our God, we ask forgiveness. Al-Chet Shachatanu Lefanecha, the ways we have wronged you under duress and by choice. V'al-Chet Shachatanu Lefanecha, the harm we have caused in your world deliberately and by mistake. Al-Chet Shachatanu Lefanecha, the ways we have wronged you openly and secretly. V'al-Chet Shachatanu Lefanecha, the harm we have caused in your world consciously and unconsciously. Al-Chet Shachatanu Lefanecha, the ways we have wronged you by hating without cause. V'al-Chet Shachatanu Lefanecha, the harm we have caused in your world through gossip and rumor. Al-Chet Shachatanu Lefanecha, the ways we have wronged you through a selfish or petty spirit. V'al-Chet Shachatanu Lefanecha, the harm we have caused in your world by hardening our hearts. V'al kulam Eloah slichot, salach lanu, mechal lanu, kaper lanu, for all these failures of judgment and will, God of forgiveness, forgive us, pardon us, lead us to atonement.
Kulam Eloha Slichot, Selach lanu, Mekal lanu, Chaper lanu, Ve'al kulam Eloha Slichot, Slach lanu, Mechal lanu, Slach lanu, Mechal lanu, Kaper lanu.
Al-Chet Shachatanu Lefanecha, we stray and we sin. When we fail to make peace the highest good, and when we are silent in the face of evil. When we forsake those who suffer far away, and when we shun the wronged and destitute among us. When we diminish God's image through violence and indifference, and when we fail to take care of those who depend on us. When we engage in slander or deceit, and when we distort the truth for personal gain. When we judge others rashly or unfairly, and when we stoke the fires of communal strife. When we fail to embrace Torah, the tree of life, to walk its paths and make its ways our own. We stray and we sin. When we offer no blessings, no words of thanks for the breath within us and for the wonder of being. V'al kulam Eloah slichot, salach lanu, mechal lanu, kaper lanu. For all these failures of judgment and will, God of forgiveness, forgive us, pardon us, lead us to atonement.
Ve'am kulam Eloha slichot, Selach lanu, Mechal lanu, Kaper lanu, Ve'al
next page, I ask myself, who's listening to these words of confession? Magnificent ear of the universe, are you my personal confidant? Am I just talking to myself? Then I got it. The question is a diversion to distract me from hearing who I really am. Let's take a moment to pause before a prayer for healing. With the trying year it's been and the year that lies ahead, it's all the more crucial that we take time. We add a prayer for healing, Mishaberach Lecholim. Before we do that, I want to offer a poem written by Chazan Jesse Romer, which is called Upon Emerging. Written for a poem as we transition out of quarantine. And even now, as we're still in the liminal moments of this pandemic, not quite sure how the days and months will unfold, we can still express our gratitude, even amidst our trepidation, as we emerge forth and approach this new year with new eyes and the same commitments to health as we always have held. Upon Emerging by Chazan Romer. When the butterfly pushes out towards sun, unfolding wet wings, shaking off the last silky strands of home, just before it launches into flight, does it turn back and bless the cocoon that held it? Ma nora habakom hazeh. How awesome is this place. Source, bless this ephemeral space where we've grown and sung each voice alone, where we've listened for or imagined each other's rhythms, tried to sync them with our own. Bless the flickering lights that carried smiles over miles to each of us, cocooned inside our homes. Bless the air in which we now, unfolding, blink at the sun, limbs wobbling, slowly remembering, reassembling. Bless the stones on which we step across this creek, treading back to where the ground is pounded smooth, grooved into circles from season after season of our gathering. Ma nora makom hazeh. How awesome is this place. Baruch hamakom baruchu. Blessed is the place that holds us. We add names of those in our lives who are ill, those who still struggle in this pandemic, those who seek comfort and strength. Especially add those whose lives have been impacted by fire, earthquake, and those across the world who have been fleeing their homes simply to remain alive. We invite you at home, we invite you here in person to share the names of loved ones. We recite Mishaberach together.
Huah Shlema. We continue now on, I encourage you to join me actually on page 140, because for the first time in this season of awe, we're going to turn to the Holy One, for whom there are many words and no words to describe. But it is at this season when we recognize that we are part of a greater whole around us, and we seek the comfort and the shelter and indeed the forgiveness of the source of us all, the Makom Habrachot, the source of all blessing. On these days we call this source Avinu Malkeinu. Almighty and merciful, we come before you without pretense. Avinu Malkeinu, we are reaching toward you. Help us to find you. Avinu Malkeinu, strengthen us for the holy days that lie ahead. Avinu Malkeinu, be with us as we strive to heal ourselves and become whole. Avinu Malkeinu, help us to repair a broken world. Avinu Malkeinu, hasten for us the days of redemption. Avinu Malkeinu, almighty and merciful, answer us with grace, for our deeds are wanting. Save us through the acts of justice and of love. Please rise as we turn to Avinu Malkeinu.
Avinu Malkeinu, Kanenu Vanenu. Avinu Malkeinu, Kanenu Vanenu, Ki ein banu masi. Aseh imanu, tzedakah v'chesed. Aseh imanu, tzedakah v'chesed, v'hoshienu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chanenu Vanenu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chanenu Vanenu, Ki ein banu masim.
Please be seated. Page 139. Hear, O Israel, hear now the heartbeat of Israel in the quiet space between a year that is ending and a year that begins. Hear the call of hope and joy, and hear the call of repentance and renewal. Hear the call to create and embrace. Hear the call to restore and to heal. Hear the call to atone and perfect, to search the soul and account for every deed. Hear the call to wrestle with sins and flaws, to fight injustice and serve the suffering. Hear the call to gather in the scattered sparks of humanity, of divinity, and hear the call to seek the core of humanity. Hear the call of compassion and forgiveness. Hear the call to return to Torah, to our people, to the one who teaches love and patience, mercy and truth. Hear the commanding sound of teshuvah. Hear the urgent call of tikkun. Shema kolenu. Hear our voice. Page 134.
Shema Kolenu, Adonai Eloheinu, Chus v'rachem aleinu. Shema Kolenu, Adonai
Shema Kolenu, we say to God, listen to our voice, and sometimes we ourselves can't find the right words, and so in this season we let the shofar speak for our souls. We begin and end this season with the Tekiah Gedolah, with the recognition that we seek the wholeness, like that whole long note. And so as we open these gates of forgiveness, these gates of the new year, we offer this shofar blast. Tekiah, Tekiah, Tekiah Gedolah.
Yashikoah.
The shofar concludes our Slichot service. And as we begun this time of pensiveness and of reflection, we ask that we leave in a moment of quiet and silence, so that this work of teshuvah, this work of silence, of quiet, this work of teshuvah, this work of forgiveness can continue. For those joining me from home, we encourage you to not rush into your evening routine just yet, to take a moment and take the time you need to transition. And those joining in person, we ask that we exit the sanctuary in silence and let the solemnity and power of the night continue on. Shana Tova Tikatevi. May all be blessed with a safe, happy, and healthy new year.
Amen.